Okay. So what I want to do right now is show you what this Shiny module does at a very high level. So I've taken the code, I've dumped it into Claude AI in order to get this little visual here, which was rendered using the diagram R package. And what it does is it just gives you a high level overview of what the data loader module is going to do. So you've got your file input UI, you've got an event handler on the server side, you're going to validate some columns on the server side. If you don't have the columns that you need, it's going to show an error. If you do have the columns that you need, it's going to show valid, and it's going to dump that into the reactive value. And then you're going to go into your main application, which is just really rendering some information and rendering a little preview, 5 rows of the data. So let's take a look at what this looks like when we put it to work here. So I'm going to run this app right now, and you can kind of get a sense of what we have here in terms of a Shiny module. Again, we're trying to upload a SAV file, and we're going to try and browse and upload a file here. And so we'll try and upload this teach file and see if it lets us. And what you see is that we get an error here, right? So we're missing age category, and PRT LN. This is just a file I took from the internet. I have no idea what it's about. Probably has something to do with education there. So anyway, so that's all it does. And it says upload complete. But it's not a valid file, so it hasn't rendered anything. So I'm going to clear the data. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this other .sav file, which does in fact have the columns that we need. And what you see here, right, is that you get a little message that the data was loaded successfully, and then you get some information about the data set, the number of columns, is it a reactive, what those columns are, and a little preview, right? And that's all we're doing here, right? And this would obviously be a part of a much larger Shiny application, right? It wouldn't be a part of a, you would have very little reason to do just this, right? So kind of going through the code here, which you can see. Let's move this over. I always like to have it big. We just have this UI function, and what you notice right here is I've commented this file input UI option out. That's when I originally started, I was doing that, and I was having a hard time clearing the file, so to speak. So, or some of the artifacts left over from uploading the file. So there is no update file input that you can do on the server side. So to solve for this scenario, I just said, okay, I'm going to render this portion of the UI dynamically on the server side. And then I have an action button clear here. I have a namespace ID function since I'm doing some kind of namespacey stuff, so to speak. I've got a reactive value for storing the data. I've got a file reset, which is a reactive value for kind of triggering the cascade of events that will clear things if need be. And I've got some basic validation here. We're just validating the data. And then I have my file input. This is the file upload where I render the UI. Fairly straightforward. Just upload the SAV file. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to kind of do this, right? You have to do this session namespace file on this side of things. Why that is, don't ask me, but I found that's what works. Thanks to ChatGPT. And then we're going to observe the input clear button, right? So we're gonna clear the file, increment the file reset value. We're gonna redo the file input, re-render, so to speak, and then we're gonna go down here and we're gonna do the input file, observe the event of the input file, and this basically you're just kind of checking the data here again, and if everything is okay, you're reading in that data. And what else? And that's kind of it. These are all nested within try catches, which is kind of a nice way to handle errors gracefully when you suspect things might work. And then we have our app here, this shiny empty state. I'm not using that in this app. I'm not using that in this app, so you don't need that. And basically just creating a little app here to give an example or an excuse for rendering our module here, and then I have some of the stuff that we're going to output, the data preview, so to speak. So that's it.